So the question becomes, how do we make an impact? How do we try to make things better?
I think that as a teacher, you owe it to your students to know that you're going to be there for them. If it means having these conversations and making sure that marginalized students are central to these conversations, you get the decision to step away from this reality, and I can't because of what I look like. And I feel courageous conversations are the first thing to start that. I don't like to be in classrooms where the question is, okay, do Black lives really matter? Because it should be a given. I should talk about what are we gonna do to get those Black lives to matter to different kinds of people.
I'm a straight white dude. I have a very specific and certain position, in a lot of places. And I think that being able to honestly look at yourself and being I'm white, I'm probably do racist things sometimes. I should try to be aware of that. I think that can be sort of scary to do, especially when there's such a stigma around those words.
Mr. Galanis, who's he's a man who happens to be white, whereas though he has this privilege, he's actively working on unlearning those sort of ideas, and he's trying to change other people's lives by examining his very thoroughly. And so I feel those are just things that he demonstrates in his classroom.
Yesterday's conversation kind of made me think maybe I need to be a little bit more kind of small scale, microcosm, and think about my own life. So that's something that I hope to get better at. All of the students see themselves and see me in certain lights. They see where we are in the hierarchy of America, and they might not always want to connect with me. So anytime that I can sort of bring my own humanity into it, I feel is important for modeling for them. Out of curiosity, just by a show of hands, how many people had a conversation with somebody in their family about anything we've done in the last 2 weeks? How many people have people in their family they would be kind of uncomfortable having a conversation with about some of the stuff that we've talked about the last 2 weeks? When you take that a step further and you're letting yourself be vulnerable and you're letting yourself have conversations that are hard or conversations that people don't typically have, I feel that changes things. And we had students say that after one of these conversations, saying I never talk about this type of stuff with people outside of my culture, outside of my race. And I think that when we can cross those divides, that brings a real shift to the kids, a real shift in consciousness. Overall, we're hoping that we can have the courage to take the responsibility to live this, to take the information that we learn in school and try to apply that into our own lives. So what can I do in my life to try and make the world more equitable?
People who have marginalized identities, the least that we can do is value them. And I feel courageous conversations should just not only just be talking about an issue, but talking about it in a practical, in a productive way.